What up? What up? So, why can't a sitting president be prosecuted? That's my question tonight.
See, the game is lame and absurd, but you spit. You need to sit back and observe a certified pimp. So oh yes he is. I mean that boy does the shit. So mess he is. Fresh to death. Ain't nobody fresh as he is. They can't compare or get next to him because he's so fly. I mean the boy's so clean. From his white tee home down to those jeans. You see the ice in the pinky.
All right, everybody, what's good? It's your man's Ken Jackson. This is the Ken Jackson Experience. So I got a quick question for you. Do you know why a sitting president cannot be prosecuted? Well, I was curious about that, and I've known the answer for quite a while, but I want to share it with you. This is what the Department of Justice says. The Department of Justice, in a memorandum put out in October 16, 2000, says that the indictment or criminal prosecution of a sitting president would unconstitutionally undermine the capacity of the executive branch to perform its constitutionally assigned functions. Now, here was my question. Who the fuck is the Department of Justice to determine whether or not a president can and should be prosecuted? It's their jobs to enforce the law. And there used to be a time when a president was subject to the same laws as everybody else. And unfortunately, in 2023, I believe it was, the Supreme Court basically made presidents above the law, basically made them kings. Now, here was always my question about why a president could not be prosecuted, because it never made sense to me. And you heard the definition or the explanation from the DOJ that I just read, saying that it would unconstitutionally undermine the capacity of the executive branch to carry out their constitutionally assigned functions. Well, that's bullshit. Think about this. Why is that bullshit? In my opinion, and in the sense of how our system of government is set up, is we have a command structure. We have a president, we have a vice president, we have a Speaker of the House, and so on and so on and so on. And it is the duty of the Vice President to step in and take over in case the President cannot perform his duties. Continuity of power. Continuity of command. And if something were to happen to the Vice President immediately thereafter, then the Speaker of the House would be sworn in as President. Continuity of power, continuity of command. So our system of government is set up and designed specifically for, having forethought in regards to that scenario. So here's my next question. Because the Supreme Court says that a president can't be prosecuted for any for any crimes that may or may not be committed during the course of their official duties or something to that respect. Basically, while they're presidenting, they're immune from prosecution, which doesn't make sense to me either. Because if a president has to break the law to do his or her job, then the president probably shouldn't be doing whatever it is that requires the law to be broken. Now, I agree that presidents should not be prosecuted or held liable in the event of sending our armed forces into combat. That's their job. They're the commander in chief. They have to make those hard decisions. And you have a lot of families that'll be like, well, I'm suing them because we shouldn't have been in that war, blase, 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 blase. But we can't even go to war without a declaration from Congress. Only Congress can declare war on another nation or enemy or adversary or whatever you want to call it. And then it's the president's job to carry out his duties as president, as commander-in-chief, and conduct the war in a way that hopefully we will win. That's his job. Presidents originally were also conceived to handle foreign relations in regards to foreign trade with the country. But in other terms, if a president feels like he has to break the law in order to carry out his presidential duties, then probably whatever he's about to do or she is about to do shouldn't be done, because the law is the law and it should only be about the law. And if we don't like the law, then it's up to Congress to amend the law. That's what they're for. Right now, President Trump is breaking the law on a daily basis. We have, first of all, President Trump should have been wholly disqualified for running anyway. He's a convicted felon 34 times. And yes, I know the Constitution doesn't say anything about convicted felons running for office. That's something else Congress needs to amend about the law. I can complain about it because I'm free to complain about it. That's how we get things changed in this country. We complain, we talk to our legislators, we demand that change, and hopefully they will legislate the changes based on what we, the people, desire. So, in my humble personal opinion, I don't believe a president should be immune from anything outside of their official duties. And if their official duties require them to break the law, then I think they should rethink whatever it is that they believe they need to break the law for. Straight up. Because, as I said, Donald Trump is breaking the law on a regular basis, daily. And you're going to sit here and tell me that we can't do anything about it? We can't bring him to justice? He is tearing down the fabric of this country piece by piece. And our lawmakers, those sworn to protect the Constitution, are sitting by and doing nothing. And I blame the Democratic leadership. Because when they had the opportunity to get rid of Donald Trump and his cronies, they didn't do anything. They sat on their hands and they let it happen. I blame those who don't participate in the system. You sit around and you complain about politicians this and politicians that, but you don't vote. And your vote does matter. Your vote does count. Because if it didn't, Republicans would not work so hard to suppress your vote, and Democrats wouldn't be working so hard to get your vote. So it obviously matters. But right now, we're going into a time when voting is going to be obsolete. There may not ever be another election in our lifetimes. I want y'all to really think about that. I want you to really consider the fact that Donald Trump really wants to be president for life. He wants to be King Donald. He wants to be our dear leader, like Kim Jong-un in North Korea. He wants to be president forever, like Xi Jinping in China. He wants to be the overlord and total commander-in-chief that Vladimir Putin is. We can't have that. Not in the United States. That is the whole reason the United States was established. To end dictatorships, to end kingships, monarchies, and autocracies, as they call it. But here we are. We got what we got now. And you've heard me say it over and over again. It's probably not going to end well. Will we have a United States of America when it's all said and done? I don't know. We may not. And that's a very strong possibility. And what's crazy is it's happening right before our eyes, and people still don't believe it can happen here when they're watching it happen. I'm not even talking to MAGA people anymore. I don't want to talk to y'all because there's no convincing y'all. If you can't pay attention to what's right in front of your face, then there's no need to even try to talk to you about what's happening. I'm talking to you people, though, that are sitting on your lazy asses right now, talking about you don't care what goes on and you don't care what happens because of people like you that don't care. We're in this situation. Do you understand that more people voted for someone else or didn't vote at all than voted for either candidate of either party? Do you realize that? Only 31% of the voting population voted for Donald Trump. About 30% voted for Kamala Harris. 36% stayed at home or voted for a third party. Think about that. Think about that. Literally 1/3 of the people selected the president. Not the American people, only 1/3 of the American people. The other 2/3 didn't vote for what we got now. So what's that mean? Majority didn't get what they wanted. But if you sat at home and didn't vote at all, which is your right, it is your right not to vote. But was it really wise not to vote? I saw today too, Cubans for Trump are crying out. They can't believe what's happening to them. They're being deported. They're being shit on by the Trump administration. It's crazy what's going on. Trump is trying to outlaw mainstream media. Now, and I know a lot of you out there, hey, I agree with a lot of the complaints against the media too, because they only push biased narratives. It's true. It's very true. There's conservative media. There's liberal media. There's center left, there's center right, there's right down the middle. There's all types of media out there. But Trump is trying to ban all mainstream media. He wants to control the media in this country just like Vladimir Putin controls the media in his country, just like Xi Jinping controls the media in China, just like Kim Jong-un controls the media in North Korea. Donald Trump wants to do that here. What happens once the mainstream media is under control? He's going after people like us. He's coming after the podcasters and the private broadcasters who want to get the truth out there, that aren't afraid, that want to speak out. He's trying to make protesting illegal. He's deporting people for protesting. Is that the America that you want to live in? Because that's what we got right now. And if nothing's done, it's going to get a lot worse. That is real talk, y'all. I don't even want to sound like I'm trying to beat you over the head with it, but you just got to wake up. You got to pay attention to what's going on. And what's really crazy is that people still think it's a black or white thing, a Latino or Asian thing, and it's really not. It's a billionaire versus the world thing. It's the haves versus the have-nots. But they keep you and I and the rest of us common folk arguing and fighting amongst ourselves so that we don't pay attention to what they're doing. And then before you know it, we wake up and we've lost total control of all things. Elon Musk is hurting right now because over half his money comes from Tesla. And Tesla stocks are way down. See, this is how fragile Elon Musk's fortune is. He depends on the stock market. And with the market crashing right now and Tesla stock crashing, he's not doing very well financially. Of course, he's doing better than all of us still. He still has a couple of $100 billion at his disposal, but it's disappearing fast. And that's because of the power of the people. The people out there protesting and boycotting Tesla, forcing the value down, taking money out of his pockets. That's a good thing because he has too much authority right now over our government because he bought that authority. Donald Trump is bought and paid for by Elon Musk. And if you don't see that, then you're a bigger idiot than I thought you were. I'll probably get suspended for this shit. TikTok suspended my account the other day for saying the same exact thing. Some MAGA freak reported me for hate speech. Can you believe that? These are the people who are always talking about freedom of speech. You're taking away my freedom of speech. And what do? They go and try to take away your freedom of speech. But I'm not mad about it because, hey, TikTok's a private company, so they can do that. Twitter is a private company. They can do that. Facebook, YouTube, all of these are private companies. They have the right to censor whatever the hell they want to censor on their platforms. They own it. Contrary to popular belief, the Fourth Amendment does not apply to private companies. It only applies to government entities and agencies. The government cannot restrict your speech in any way. So what Donald Trump is trying to do is unconstitutional by him trying to restrict media from reporting the bullshit that he's doing, for reporting the shenanigans that he's allowing Doge and Elon Musk to carry out. That's unconstitutional. That's what the Fourth Amendment was put in place to protect us against. I don't care if a private agency says I can't do whatever on their platform. It's their platform. But when the government does it, then we got a problem. Donald Trump also signed an executive order today banning rules and laws against segregation within federal agencies. Basically, he made it okay for federal agencies to segregate its employees. We can have all the black folks working on this floor and all the white folks working on this floor, or only white people in this department, only black folks in this department, only Hispanics in this department. He made it okay for federal agencies to do that now. Unconstitutional. And again, I'll say, if it were private companies, I wouldn't give a fuck. I wouldn't give a fuck if Starbucks says we ain't serving black folks no more. I don't care. That's not the only place to get a bad cup of coffee. I might feel some kind of way about Dunkin' Donuts because I like my Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the morning. But no, on the real, even if they said, hey, we ain't serving black folks, okay, fine. I'm not going there. I can get coffee anywhere. You know, if certain restaurants said, hey, McDonald's says I'm not serving black folks, okay, because I don't eat that fucking unhealthy crap anyway. You understand what I'm saying? But when the government does it, that's unconstitutional. Because the government is for all of us, we the people. And see, that's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to we the people running shit. Right now, it's they the politicians. It's they the elites. Donald Trump's entire cabinet is all billionaires, except for one. The HUD director. The only black member of the cabinet. He's the only non-billionaire working for Donald Trump on an executive level like that. Think about that. So we got a problem, y'all. We got a big problem here in the United States. Donald Trump is just running amok. He's totally clueless. He has no idea what he's doing. He has the emotional health of a 5-year-old. But yet, you MAGA freaks and Christian nationals and just basic criminals have elected this idiot to run the country. You have given him all the keys and the security codes. This motherfucker is in control of the nuclear fucking pickle. That's what it's called, the pickle. Again. Second time around. I can't believe it. I'm not surprised because I honestly never thought that I would see him get elected the first time, but to have him back in the White House, and I told y'all during the first term, I said if he gets reelected, he's not going to make the mistakes he made the first time. And he did not make any mistakes this time. He got nothing but loyalists in all the right places. And they're going to kiss his ass because they want to be close to power. Because they're drunk off power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Remember that. A lot of y'all out there didn't pay attention in social studies and civics classes when we were coming up. Because my generation, I think, was the last generation that even got teachings like that. They're eliminating everything across the board in regards to the contributions that black folks have made to this country. We built this country on our backs. The labor of my ancestors, and we didn't get paid for it. My ancestors suffered through horrific conditions to build this country. And what's funny is it was a bunch of illegal immigrants who came here, stole the land, forced another group to do all the hard labor, and now their descendants are trying to kick out all the so-called illegal immigrants so that they can have their own little paradise here in the United States. But let me tell you what's going to happen. We're going to get fed up with the bullshit, and we're going to start acting a fucking fool out here in these streets. And let me tell you something, you're not going to be able to run and hide, because I think the majority is going to rise up. So don't push too hard. Especially with us veterans, you damn sure don't want all us veterans pissed off at you. You don't want a country full of trained killers mad at you. And trust me, we're not all old men. We're not all crippled and incapacitated. There's plenty enough of us out here that are armed and ready to take back the country, because our oath meant something to us. To defend against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Keep that in mind, y'all. Keep that in mind. Because when the shooting starts, y'all better be ready. Don't be sitting around talking about you're scared. Hopefully it won't come to that. Hopefully it won't go so far out of control that we have to have a violent uprising. But to think that it can't happen here, you're an idiot. This country was founded out of a violent uprising. This country has a history of violent uprisings. You forgot the Civil War. Or did you pay attention in school? North versus the South, or South versus the North. When the South wanted to just be what Donald Trump is trying to make us. That's what Donald Trump means when he says make America great again. He wants to go back to those Civil War days, to where, white folks were standing on the necks of everybody else. Hey, I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's the truth. Because it damn sure wasn't us. It wasn't us oppressing nobody. It wasn't the Hispanic people oppressing anybody. It wasn't Asian people oppressing anybody. It was white folks. And if you look back through history, it seems like white folks been savages for a long time. I got white friends. There's plenty of white people in my life that I love to death. I love them like my own family. But I'm just talking about ancestrally, historically, it's been the white race that has been colonizers and conquerors. But I don't want y'all running out now talking about, we got to kill all the white folks. That's not the play, because it's not a black or white thing right now. It's a billionaire versus the rest of us. The billionaires are losing control. They're losing power. Now they're trying to consolidate that power so that they can stay in control and live their lavish lifestyles on the backs of us, the commoners. Don't let yourself be lullabied into their bullshit, y'all. Elon Musk is an evil motherfucker, and he has to go. He's not elected to any offices in this country. We didn't vote for him. Donald Trump is a foreign operative. He's a Russian operative. Plain and simple. Yeah, I said it. Donald Trump is an enemy of the state. We got to get rid of him, y'all. Y'all got to participate in the system. Get out there and participate. Make the Constitution and the law work in our favor the way it's supposed to. We have to get these criminals out of office and get them behind bars where they belong. And we got to get control of this situation before it's too late. But it may be too late already. I don't know. And I know a lot of you are going to probably send me some crazy ass comments. You know, whether you agree or disagree, I don't really care. I'm speaking my piece while I still can. Because as of right now, we can still speak the way we want to speak. But don't think you're going to be able to if you keep letting this nonsense go the way that it's going. Democratic leadership, you motherfuckers better get on the ball. You better start doing something. Because if we do have midterm elections, I don't think any of y'all are going to get reelected either. And hopefully none of these damn Republican MAGA motherfuckers will get reelected. We probably need to just get rid of all of your asses and start from scratch, because y'all got it totally fucked up right now. And we ain't happy. We are not happy. All right, so that's all I got to say tonight. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m. is my regular show. Join me. Get in the chat. Let me see what your comments are. You know, maybe I'll take a few phone calls. I don't know yet. That's what got me banned on TikTok last week, because I let somebody speak, and then I figured out they were idiots. I didn't want to speak anymore to them, and they reported me for hate speech. But I'll be back on TikTok. I'm not wiped out yet. They didn't close my account, but they suspended me for a week or two or something like that. But don't think it's going to shut me up, though. I'll be back. All right. I'll catch y'all tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Crazy Baby TV World. If you haven't yet, subscribe. Don't cost you a dime. I don't have any merchandise to sell you. I'm not in it for that. Not trying to get in your pockets. Everybody needs to hold on to their coins as best they can, so you don't need to be giving them to somebody like me or anybody else out here that's trying to get in your pocket. But do subscribe. Help me with the algorithm. Let's boost the channel up a little bit. Help me, help myself get better at doing this and delivering the information that needs to be delivered. Straight and raw. My shit's unscripted. I don't sit around and try to make the presentation the best it can be. I'm just talking. Just like a lot of you are just talking. You know why? Because I'm just like all of you. We're just regular people, y'all. All right. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. Peace. I am out. Catch y'all tomorrow night.